What's shaking, everybody? My name is Ross Mandel. I'm coming to you guys live today from Delray Beach, Florida. I'm at Scott Woolley Studios. I have an extraordinary treat for you guys today. His name is Matt Bowyer. Doesn't mean a thing to you at this point in time. How about Shohei Ohtani? This is a guy, he is a physical and literal beast, a specimen of a man. You're going to find out how and why. He is also a spiritual warrior. I feel a connection in him, an energy that has to come from some place that we call the universe. Some people call it God. It's a three-letter word. I go for that. He has a story that little boys admire. We just want to grow up and be like this guy, Matt. Women fawn over him because he is that guy. He put the alpha in alpha male. Matt Bowyer, bro, thank you for coming in today. I'm so excited, bro.
Wow. That is an introduction.
Well, I'm going to tell you, that's you.
Hey.
That's who you are.
My man, way to pump the ego. Thank you.
Well, listen, if people don't know, then they should know.
Well, I appreciate it. It's an honor to be here, so thank you very much.
I appreciate that myself. You know, I in so many ways, I look at you and I see myself. Of course, you're a taller, younger, more fit version.
Well, you're definitely looking good.
But in the day, yeah. I would have given you a run. I mean, I
feel that.
I was that kind of guy.
I don't doubt it. And you are an alpha male times 10 as well.
I am. I believe that I am, but, you know, I don't talk like that about myself, but I call him like I see him. So welcome today. I understand you live in California.
I do.
You're a West Coast boy.
My whole life.
Okay, born and raised?
Born and raised, Cypress, California. Tiger Woods, actually same age as me. We played the same golf course. I lived right near the Navy golf course in Cypress, and that's where he grew up playing. So,
Cypress is southern, middle, or north?
It's North Orange County.
Okay,
yeah.
Orange County.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the housewives are, right?
That's right, yeah.
Orange County.
That's, one of them lives right up the street from me.
I get that because you live in that neighborhood, bro, right?
I do.
You're
very fortunate. I've lived a great life, so I have a lot to tell, and I'm excited to be here.
You know, you might want to borrow this because I borrow most things. I've had a bucket list life. Like you know, I understand you're going to federal prison in a little bit, correct?
Yeah, in fact, 23 days.
Not that anyone's counting.
Yeah, 6 hours to...
And you're reporting on the 10th, I see.
I am.
So I reported on September 10th,
okay,
2014.
Okay, see?
I was released on January 10th, 2024, placed on probation till January 10th, 2027.
Okay.
But I filed to terminate early. It wouldn't shock me if I was, my probation was terminated on October 10th.
Hey, it's been an interesting number for both of us.
There's many things, and as we get to know each other, I think it's going to become extremely. I think you feel it, but
I agree.
I think it's going to become even more apparent.
We hit it off the moment you called me.
I felt that.
Yeah.
I could have talked to you all day.
No, you were great. You gave me a lot of great advice, and clearly, before I go to prison, I've never been there, so talking to someone who's been there and had a lot of experience there, you got to listen and learn, so I'm grateful.
I know it's going to sound crazy and probably don't want to hear it, but it's going to probably be a good experience for you, only because you're going to be there maybe 3 months, tops 5. You're in a day, guys, 5 months today, but they're going to try and push you out earlier.
I think it's a great experience just because I need to recalibrate, just like my book said.
Did you know the guy that wrote this book by any chance?
I know him, actually.
You actually know him?
I do.
I mean, you could hook me up with this guy. I want to meet this guy.
100%.
Because this is a fucking interesting cat, bro.
It's
one of the biggest bookmakers in America.
The numbers were quite astounding. There's no question.
You have lived that kind of life.
So have you.
I have. I actually have.
Yeah.
I was a big sports betting guy and a gambling. I loved it so, and I was pretty good at it. I actually went into the stock market, which is, in a sense,
gambling.
Big time gambling.
Yeah, but it's educated gambling. You're a smart guy with numbers. Anyone who has, the brain to handle math and do numbers is going to be great at stocks, commodities, investing, gambling. They're all very similar, to be honest.
100%. I get that. And that's why I gravitated to that world.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be one of those guys that I saw out. There's 1,000 people lined up at Studio 54, the most arguably the most famous club or disco in the world, history
Right.
of the world. 1,000 people lined up on 54th Street. What about me? Me, you know. And I'd see these guys pull up, hand their keys to their Mercedes or their Lamborghini, Ferrari. Super hot girl walks out,
Of course.
and they all of a sudden the crowd parts. Mark goes like this, the ropes open, and they're ushered in.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's the guy I want to be.
That's a dopamine rush in itself.
That's who I want to be, and that's how I make my decisions in life. I see what I want, and I
go for
figure
it.
out how to do it. We had no cell phones in those days.
Sure.
We had no connectivity that way. We know Google. We didn't have any of those. I would go up to the guy and say, "Listen, I hope you don't mind me asking. I saw you walk in. You have the best table in the club. You're
Most
drinking
beautiful girl.
the hottest girl in the
Yeah.
club. You're
got some
drinking
swag.
magnums of Dom Perignon. I mean, you're like a beautiful looking guy. I mean, who are you? I
Yeah.
mean,
What do you do?
exactly. And men especially love to talk about themselves.
Of course, we're egotistical for most of us. I would say most successful men, especially. They're more narcissistic, more egotistical, and I think you and I probably qualify for some of those traits, good or bad, whatever. People judge you all the time, but you won't be successful if you don't have confidence. I mean, you could label it however you want, but it's all about confidence, right?
100%.
And I believe in myself every minute of the day, every which way. And when I do find myself coming down at all, because we all have moments of it, then I just kick myself right in the face and realize and wake up real quick, like, who are you? You're better than that. You know better. You know, it's like you can't even allow yourself to sulk for a minute. If you do, I just jump out of it real quick, because that's what happens is when you start self-doubting yourself, your mindset is everything. It's the most powerful muscle in our body, and you have to overcome adversity with your mind. It's simple as that. And the people who don't have that are never going to have it unless they realize that.
You know, I think it was Machiavelli said, the mind is the greatest weapon of all. And, but, you've see, I get it. It's confidence. But confidence is born from, I think, an inner spirit. But look at you, bro. You train, right? You train and you lift weights for sure.
I do. I own a jiu-jitsu studio.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Yep. I opened that about 4 years ago. During COVID, I decided to challenge myself when it was a weird time in the world, which you were in a different place than I was.
I was really locked in
I can only imagine what you were
with
going
a
through.
serial murderer.
Yeah, wow, that story is insane. So for me, I said, you know what, I gotta try something new, because the world was really, really strange for a person who's not inside. To get in your car and drive and there's not a person around. It was like the Twilight Zone. So I just said, you know what, the only thing open at that time really was a few little tiny gyms that were not...
Especially in California, by the way.
Yes.
Florida is much more of a constitutional state. Our governor was good.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. So I challenged myself and said, let me try something new. I wrestled in high school. I've always been aggressive with, handling myself and defending myself. So I started training and I loved it. And the guy I was training with is such an amazing human being. We became great friends. I didn't like the way that the studio that I was training at treated him. So I said, what's your dream? And he said, I'd like to open a studio one day. And I said, well, let's just do it together. So I gave him his dream, and now we're partners. And
of course, it's like nothing. It's a couple $100,000 tops,
yep.
right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I spent $226,000 opening the gym.
$250.
Yep.
I get it. It's so crazy.
And to be honest, we are flourishing. We got 160 students. It's called Risk Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Laguna
love
Hills,
it.
California.
Great name, bro.
Yeah, we named it Risk because he took a risk coming from Brazil with $400 in his pocket, not speaking English. And now, 5 years later, he speaks great English. He's getting his green card, owns a business. Amazing guy. True.
I'll never forget, I went into the mixed martial arts business. I was training, and I had sold my company. I gave you the story before this video, before we went live on camera. And these guys were Googling me. They found out who I was. And they would come to me. They want to get into, everyone wanted to be like the UFC.
Right.
And they would give me this business plan and all these different things. And, I was a wrestler also in high school.
Wow.
And so jiu-jitsu made a lot of sense to me.
Right.
Except, my job as a wrestler was to put you on your back.
Of course.
In jiu-jitsu, we start on our back.
Yeah.
So it was
It was hard to adjust to that, too.
Yeah, very much so.
It still is, actually, for me.
Very much
I'm
so.
always the guy that's usually on top, or at least I try to be.
Correct.
I'm just more comfortable there. But, at the end of the day, if you're on your back, you do need to learn how to defend yourself. So, It's really good for discipline for kids. It's really good for training your mind. It's like chess with your body.
What'd you say earlier? Self-confidence.
Yeah, it's great
So
for that.
I told you a lot of fighters would come to me and I'd watch them, I'd watch their sort of game and I said, look, listen, bro, you're a killer. You're a stand-up guy. You're killing people. Guess what? If you have an unwillingness to roll in the jiu-jitsu mats, but if you can't defend jiu-jitsu, it's over.
Right.
You have no chance in a fight
100%.
if you can't defend.
If you don't knock him out, once he gets a hold of you,
You're not going to knock him out.
yeah, you're going to have the luckiest, cleanest punch. You're right. They know how to defend it. You're in trouble.
If you can't defend it, you lose. And that's the brilliant thing about Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I feel like your life has been like a jiu-jitsu match.
I think both of ours has.
No question. There is absolutely no question. It's almost shocking to me.
Yeah, very, very similar in a lot of ways.
Mathew Bowyer, he spells it Bowyer, just to be a little difficult and unique. And I get that. So you're born and raised in Southern California.
Yes, sir.
You had a middle-class upbringing.
Yeah, I was blessed. My first 12 years of my life, I had three brothers. My mom was absolutely stunningly beautiful, and I say that not because she's my mother, but because every one of my friends was calling her the MILF and talking
a
a
MILF.
lot of things I didn't want to hear, at a young age, and I couldn't argue with them because she was really a beautiful woman and still is. But the point is, we were raised very, I'm going to say spoiled. We weren't in Beverly Hills, that kind of spoiled, but if we wanted to join a baseball team and we didn't have a new glove and bat, we'd just go out and get it. It wasn't like,
Right.
I'm not saying we didn't have to work for things. We did chores and stuff, but it was really, we had a river house with a boat and a jet ski, and
Wow.
my dad was an entrepreneur. He owned a air tool supply company, and ironically, he was a bail bondsman.
Really?
Yeah, it was called
Your
Bowyer
dad?
Bail Bonds. So
Good business, by the way.
it was great, especially then.
Yeah.
The ORs were less. It was just
More sense then,
Yeah,
yeah.
the commissions were high, and so anyway, we lived a great life.
How much was your bill?
Actually, I didn't have a bail. My wife signed a bond. So I guess there was a bond. What am I saying?
Right.
She signed a bond, and I think we put up our house. But the reason I never actually had to go to jail, the way the federal process
Right.
worked, I went to court, but she signed over, I think, our house or whatever it was, some form. So I don't even know,
It's
to
a
be
bond,
honest. I
right.
can't even answer this
But
properly.
there's a number.
Oh, no, there definitely was. But it was very evident that I pled guilty immediately. I was telling the government that I was a bookmaker. I didn't hide anything. So they knew I wasn't, running from this problem. I just wanted to mitigate as quickly as I could.
They hit me with a $5 million bail.
Wow.
And they wanted cash, and they knew I had it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I want to be careful what I say.
Sure.
I've had people wanting me, don't bash the government, don't do this, don't do that, and I said, no, I don't do that. Well, they're yelling at me.
Well, you're still dealing with the situation, and you're just trying to be honest. I understand.
Right. But you know what it is. Also, I found out you're going to come to this conclusion at some point as you put this in your review a little bit, like I have now. It's not the government. We actually have an amazing government. Any other place in the world, but we have some bad people from time to time that are actually running the government.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's what it comes down to.
it does take one or two bad apples to ruin situations.
It's
so.
they give the government a bad name.
Yeah.
And I think that's the great thing about the Trump administration. He's starting to move people out, and he's recalibrating
He definitely is.
the government. And that's a great name, by the way.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yeah.
I've been reading your book,
good.
and it's great. It's a
Good.
great book.
Thank you.
I recommend you to read this book. So now you're growing up in Southern California. You're
Yeah.
wrestling. You're playing. I know you're an athlete. Brothers, sisters.
I have three brothers. I'm 12 years old, and the reason I fast forwarded 1 through 12 is
Yeah.
because it was perfect. And then at 12, my dad, who was a Vietnam vet, was developing a really bad drinking problem to the point where he was drinking 30 to 40 beers a day, 3 packs of cigarettes,
Wow.
but he wasn't even drunk. 'Cause
I get it.
It was a very functioning
Just
alcoholic.
to take the edge off. That's what we used to say. I'm an addict.
Yeah, well,
I'm an alcoholic.
Let me just say it this way: if you could drink 40 beers and you're not drunk, it's basically like drinking water for him. He really was never really drunk, hardly at all.
Right.
And he ate one meal a day, and he was sitting by the phone waiting for it to ring because back then there was no internet. It was Yellow Pages.
I get it.
And so he couldn't leave the phone, and he was bored. So he would just drink all day. In that process, we would go to football games, baseball games, all our matches, wrestling. He couldn't go because he was sitting by the phone.
I got it. Okay.
So my mom was always there, and that just weighed on her. The drinking just became more of a priority. So at 12, after 3 or 4 rehabs, which he wouldn't kick it, she said, enough's enough. So he moved out, and she was running our house. So you have 4 boys, but 3 that are, or 2 that are older. One graduating high school, one in high school. So they're pretty much checked out. Then you have me, who I'm 12, and my 8-year-old brother. So I kind of was like the therapist to my mom at the time, even though I was 12. And in that process, I just watched her have to, because he took the business, and I watched her go to work. I mean, truly go to work, like grinding.
Struggling.
Kidney dialysis technician, selling Jaffa products, making cakes. I mean, hustling like no other.
For her family.
To keep us in that home.
I understand.
And so what I learned was, like, the rug just got pulled. And as a young boy, I saw my mom struggle, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do anything I can to alleviate asking her for money. So I had this extra grind to hustle. So I went from the kid that got everything to the kid that had to go get it. And it was a great experience for me.
It shaped you.
100%. I've chased it ever since.
Right.
I've never changed since I was 12 till the minute I'm standing in front of you.
It's an amazing thing because I like to say I had a perfect childhood. Until I was 16, my father dropped dead suddenly. Never sick.
Wow.
He was my North Star. He was everything. And I didn't react well. I
could see
cracked
that.
like an egg. I was so angry. I was in so much pain. The day of his funeral, I smoked a joint with my cousin. I took one hit on that joint, and I was okay. I thought I was okay, but the pain, it sort of...
Yeah, released.
I became bearable. And I went on a 17-year run, drugs and alcohol, literally like an animal, every day. So I understand we have these moments in life that we react to.
Sure.
I suffer from what you call reactive addiction.
Of course.
It's like,
yeah.
you know.
Well, that's a very trauma. I mean, I'm sorry that you went through that, but very traumatic moment for a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, well, 12 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
You witnessed what you witnessed is, my friend Stevie would say, that's life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
You know, God doesn't just let us all have perfect lives.
Right.
But I was like, I had the perfect life going up. And then at some point, I'm married, and I have children, and I do a video called Facing Life. It was for a reality show, and I'm Ross Mandel. I have a perfect life. Stunning wife, 16 years younger than me, 2 gorgeous daughters, 4 dogs, 4 houses, the whole bit,
Sure.
Enough money for 20 generations. And then, boom, 40 agents walk in.
The rug gets pulled.
Right, so that was another
Yeah.
another issue that I've been dealing with,
Sure.
and then that shapes us. But this is about you today. So at what point, because you're a gambler, you're not just a bookmaker, correct?
Oh, definitely. I'm a degenerate gambler.
You play, right?
I play hard.
Okay, so that's something that, not everybody understands.
Sure.
And somehow, I guess you're here because of Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
That name might not mean if you're not a sports fan, you don't know.
Right.
But if you're a sports fan,
You know.
what? I mean, they're calling him the greatest baseball player since Babe Ruth. My friends that follow the game say he's the greatest athlete ever. He throw the ball 100 miles an hour. He pitches. He gets on behind. He gets up to hit the ball. He's
Right.
like, what? This guy is really a freak. He's the MVP of baseball last year.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers win they win the championship, the Major League Baseball champions of the world.
Correct.
And everyone says without Ohtani, they can't do that.
No doubt. I think he's the best athlete to ever set foot on the planet.
Really?
I really do. I mean, think about it. Like, it's hard for me to speak about athletes I've never seen.
Right.
Babe Ruth, I've never seen. I'm too young.
Michael Jordan was really something.
Michael Jordan, to me, was the best basketball player I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Basketball player.
Couldn't play baseball great.
or gamble. Tiger Woods,
Is it gamble?
best golfer I've ever seen.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
think about this. Shohei Ohtani can do things that no athlete's ever done. He's playing – it's almost equivalent to Bo Jackson.
I remember Bo Jackson.
Okay. But Bo Jackson got hurt and it kind of, ruined
He had
everything.
a short career.
Imagine Bo Jackson was able to play another 5 years.
Incredible.
He might be labeled the best athlete ever to walk the face of the earth if he was allowed to continue.
He had his moments that were ridiculous.
He was. At that time, he was the best athlete I've ever seen. You know, multi-sport.
And you were bookmaking during his career?
Well, no, I was so young.
You were a kid still.
I was a kid, but truly,
you love sports.
I was gambling.
You love sports. You love sports, though, right?
Oh God, love them. Yeah,
right. You watch sports.
I've watched more sports than any human on the planet. Really, I mean,
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I had millions of dollars riding on every damn game. So,
right, but you just love it anyway. You know,
I do.
It wasn't just business. It's like you found a passion, really.
Very much so, to the point where in the last 2 years, it's been an interesting dynamic. My feel for sports now. I haven't watched too much sports lately because I had like I'm going to say a vendetta towards it, even though it was my own cause of
a distaste.
What's happened.
I get it.
Yeah, and that's coming back to being a fan again and actually appreciating. I took my son, who's 4, to his first baseball game about maybe 4 months ago, and that was an awesome experience. Something I'll never forget. It was just to take my young son and let him see baseball and kind of enjoy it, not have money on the game, which is never even been to a game without money on it. I don't think since I was a kid.
I get it.
You know, so to walk in and watch a game and actually enjoy the game without, some sort of dopamine rush is very interesting.
Yeah, you can experience a couple of new things in the next few months, but it's not so bad. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm letting you know it's going to be like you're going to think back to what I said to you and what I will say to you today, and you're going to say, "Fucking Ross was right."
Yeah,
it's cake.
I don't doubt it. The hard part for me...
You've been through the hard part, bro. You have suffered, bro.
I agree.
Suffered, so.
The anxiety, not knowing, just...
the wife, I mean, the family, right. You're looking, God, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
But what you've been through is, I know personally.
You do.
By far and away, I suffered.
Sure.
Prison is... I was away for a while, but it's nothing compared to what I went through.
Yeah.
Because the mind is the greatest weapon, and it becomes weaponized against you.
Right.
When you go through a situation like this, your own mind is weaponized against you. You know what I mean? It's a crazy thing.
It really is.
But so it's a fascinating. I want to build up to the Ohtani situation because that's. I mean, it's not even national news. This is world news.
Yeah, it is.
This is world news.
I had Japanese reporters at my house for a reason.
I'll bet you did. Mm-hmm. I lived in Trump World Tower for 6 years, and we had, what's his name? The Japanese baseball player that played for the Yankees.
Oh, they called him...
Right. I can't think of the name, but I got to know him pretty well. And my family, he was a very friendly, affable guy, but the busloads of Japanese tourists would come. And it was a spot on the New York tourism scene.
Right.
And these Japanese people would come. He had a great name, too.
Yeah.
He was a...
Well, didn't they call him Godzilla?
Godzilla, yeah.
But I can't remember his name. But
I'm
he was
struggling.
amazing. He was a great home run hitter.
Great ball player. But
Played with Jeter.
Shohei Ohtani is just next level.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Derek Jeter lived in my building. He had one of the penthouses. Wow. Bill Gates had the big penthouse.
Oh, I'm sure.
That was a serious building.
Yeah.
My daughter learned how to swim there. But so busloads of Japanese people, and now you are enmeshed with Ohtani.
Yeah, for forever, for the rest
forever,
of my life.
For the rest of the time.
Well, as much as he wants to get as far away from me as possible, which I don't blame it, I mean...
And the more he does, the better for you. I'm sorry to say it like that, but, it just hit me. It's crazy.
No, it's the truth.
You always be a part of his story. But let's go back. So you're a kid.
Yep.
You're growing up. Your family goes through this traumatic situation.
Sure.
And you wheeling and dealing. I know what it's like to be a boy, right? I grew up too. And tell us about how you started gambling.
Basically, I just started hustling every which way. So I started as a paper boy. I was, delivering the paper, right? And then I started selling the paper at night, because I had to make money. So I became the Orange County Register's top sales kid at 13, even though most of the kids were 18, 19 years old. So they'd drop us off in neighborhoods. I'd go door to door, and I would just sell. So this is my first taste of success was roughly 14. And when I won a trip from my mom to Hawaii by selling the most papers in Orange County, it was like amazing because this woman was working so hard and I was able to win this trip. God. It was to Waikiki, whatever, flights and stuff.
I get it.
And I gave it to her and it was my first taste of like real success. So it just made me realize that hard work and grinding and not taking no for an answer was, something that I got something out of, right? So I think that actually taught me for the rest of my life to
That's
never
a beautiful
accept
story.
no. Really, it's the truth. Like to never accept no, to always, you have to, the no might mean the door closing, but you just keep going. Right. And if you open the door and you didn't want to buy the Orange County Register for $7 a month, I basically would beg you at the end of before you close the door, I'd say, listen, I'm trying to win a trip for my mom. So I would use everything possible. I would explain to them that the coupons in the paper on Sundays will cover the $7 and more. So all you got to do is take it for 30 days. You can cancel in 30 days, and I still get the credit for the sale. So I tried everything, and it worked.
Well, you use tools. I teach people selling and all that. And, when you go to Wall Street, you become like a ninja.
Sure.
Right? To say it like that. And exactly true. But I love the fact because you became just authentic.
I'm always authentic.
I get it.
I always will be. Because at the end of the day, if you are yourself, you're living free.
Exactly right.
That's the bottom line. I can look in the mirror, and even though I'm going to prison and I've committed a crime and I've never been an angel, I don't claim to be. I have plenty of flaws.
You didn't kill anybody.
No,
I didn't rape anybody.
No, I don't agree with all the laws, but I knew what they were. I broke them.
Okay.
I'm totally okay with that. But I look in the mirror and I'm still very happy with what I see. Because
I love it. That's what
I
matters.
am who I am.
That's what matters. The man in the mirror, right?
It is. People can judge me for going to prison, and yes, I'm putting my family through some serious shit. I'm not happy about that. But when we were flying high on jets and eating caviar and flying, to Dominican Republic and Bahamas and enjoying life, nobody had a problem with it then.
It's amazing how they adapt to that so quickly.
Yeah.
It's really something,
It's true. So, but my childhood was great. So I started 13, 14 hustling. Then I worked at a gas station. I was working at a pizza joint. And I was selling weed. I was trying
I've done
everything.
all those things.
Yeah, I never did drugs, but I sold them. And moral of the story is anything to make additional money. And what I started doing was collecting baseball cards. And then I would go around the neighborhood and trade cards, common cards for Mark McGwire rookies or King Griffey Jr. rookies and hustle kids, right?
I love that.
And then I started taking bets because I realized...
You were taking bets?
Yeah, like $20 bets.
Instead of making bets?
Both.
Okay.
Making bets started probably when I was about 16, 17. Taking bets started when I was like 13, 14.
Really?
But I'm talking $10 bets,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just shows this, you have a mind for that. I get it.
I love numbers. I love sports. I love to gamble. So sports gambling for me is the worst combination. You got sports, and you got dopamine rush and gambling mixed. There's no better way for me to get a high than, because I don't do anything else. I don't really drink much. I definitely have never done a drug. I've never even tried cocaine in my whole life. And the reason I say that so often is because if I tried it, I would do the whole mound.
You finished.
That's me.
If you did it,
yes.
you finished.
And I know that. My little brother's a heroin addict.
Oh, really?
He just got out of prison 3 weeks ago.
You understand this at a really deep level.
Beyond. My dad passed away at 55 from alcoholism.
I get it. How's your mom? Is she still...
She's great. Yeah, she's 75. Thanks for asking. She's amazing. But she's been through hell with her boys. My brother passed away at 47, perfectly healthy, just a random asthma attack that turned into cardiac arrest. And he has 3 kids that we're trying to help, and get them through.
You've been able to help provide for her a little bit, right?
Yeah, I really tried to help my sister-in-law and, get them through. It's been since 2018 he passed, so it's been a little bit now, 7 years. But
a lot of trauma in your family.
Yeah, we've been through it, and I always tell myself there's a lot of people that had it a lot worse than I ever did.
My friend Stevie says, "Welcome to life."
Yeah, there's no free passes.
God tests people, and no one is guaranteed an easy run.
That's right.
But that's why I love the thing they talk about. Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Yeah, that's a great quote.
And we're here for a short period of time. On your tombstone, it shows the day you're born. There's a dash, and the day you're going to die.
That's right.
The dash is really all that matters.
You're absolutely correct.
At that time, and so I'm not going to handcuff myself.
Right.
I want to live. I want to taste. I want to experience. I want to feel.
Right.
And then I learned something called love. Love is when you care more for someone else than you do for yourself, in my opinion.
That's correct.
And so, I want to leave something for my children and for my ex-wife, because I love them all very much. So, okay, so you taking some bets.
Yeah, small little bets, and then we've been gambling on. Back then, it was Sega, Genesis, Nintendo.
Right.
And we're gambling
Video
John
games.
Madden. It doesn't matter.
I understand.
Because everyone knew I liked to gamble, even at such a young age. Because keep in mind, my grandparents used to take me to the racetrack, Santa Anita, Los Alamitos.
It's in your blood. It's in your blood.
We would play Yahtzee for money. So we were always gambling on stuff as kids. It was in my family history.
And you have sort of addiction.
Oh, not sort of.
In your genetics, really.
Beyond.
Very interesting.
Clearly, right? So, that was always something that we enjoyed and did. And then as I would say I turned about 16 and I started selling programs at the racetrack. And then now I'm running a little poker ring in my house because my mom is working 3 jobs, never home.
I love it.
So I said, you know what? Let me run a little poker ring. And it's like a little version of Molly's game, but much smaller, of course, with young kids, 16-year-old boys.
I get it, bro. I get it.
Yeah. And that hustle turned out great until one of the moms found a little note, a little IOU in the kid's pocket when he did his laundry and said, I owe Matt $340. And then we had an intervention at my house with all the moms, and my mom was like, that's done.
I get it.
That was over.
I love it.
Yeah. But that was a great little poker ring we had going because I had upstairs in our house, my dad, like I said, he was a drinker, so we had a bar and a pool table and a jukebox and obviously this big area, bumper pool, you name it, we had it. So I had like this perfect hall for it,
I love it.
Yeah, it was great.
I used to play an underground poker game and gambling place in Manhattan, right down the block from my house. It was,
Okay.
I think the Genovese family.
Okay.
Guys that
Make
ran
sure you
like
pay
the
them if you lose, okay?
Oh, I was, I was a big dog. I had $100,000 limit.
Credit line, little marker.
But I spent a lot of the money on cocaine.
Okay.
Women, gambling, the whole. I did the
All
whole
the
thing.
above.
It's all part of my story as well.
Sure.
So I get it, but I used to during these benders where you stay up 2-3 days gambling with Mickey Rourke and some of these crazy movie stars. I would look at this guy Joe and say, this guy Joe and Kenny, the Gillio boys, Joe and Kenny Gillio. And I would say, boy, these guys, it's smart. It's good business what they were doing.
Of course
They were providing like a service.
Yeah, they have a chef.
Everything.
Girls.
Right. Everything.
Drugs.
Everything you need. Whatever you need. If they didn't have it, they would get it for you.
And they had a rake.
Right.
And the rake is why they had it.
The rake. I love that.
The rake is
the rake. That's a word. I forgot that word.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't.
No, they didn't. And it was like they provided this like service. It was an outlet for me when I just didn't want to deal with life.
Right.
I was playing in the stock market morning, noon, and night.
Yep.
I was also sports betting, but $5-10 grand a game. I was not a big player. Like
Right.
My addiction became stocks. So you found gambling,
Right?
Because I was a big sports betting when I was a kid.
Sure.
I got in some trouble, running up tabs and
Of course,
always
we all
paid.
have. I've
Right.
done that many times.
Right, but it's like the first one was going to kill me. But so you don't know what I was a kid.
Right.
But I then found that in the stock market, and I'm playing for so much money.
Sure.
When I went to Vegas or all the casinos, I was rated player, comped, all these different things.
Right.
It's in $100 grand up front. And then I didn't have to anymore. They were like, don't worry about it, Mr. Mandel.
Yeah, we got you.
They want me to, I
Go
very
in the play.
rarely lost a lot of money because I couldn't play it big enough to get that rush.
Yeah, because you were doing such big numbers in stocks.
I buy 20, 30 million
Right.
in stocks.
So what's
millions of my own money.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and it's 24/7 and it's legit and I'm wearing a suit and tie and I just felt like, and I'll never forget it when I got sober and I went for therapy. I told my psychiatrist, I don't gamble anymore. I stopped sports betting. And he's looking at me, he goes, well,
That's gambling.
he says, you're in the stock market. He goes, you manage a lot of money. You're on it. I said, yeah. He goes, it's like $300 million. He says, and do you ever invest in margin? I said, oh yeah, all the time, max out. Mm-hmm. So he's saying sometimes you run up $500 million. Oh yeah. And he says, you don't think that's gambling? You know what I mean? And he opened my eyes. I had no idea. In my own deluded psyche, I wasn't really gambling.
Right.
I was just investing, like you put it nicely in it earlier in our interview. And
Right.
And so we talk. Our self talk is oftentimes slightly misleading.
Of course it is. We tend to tell ourselves what we want to hear at the end of the day, right? Because we're our own salespeople too.
We rationalize.
Yeah, and by selling yourself, even though it's probably the wrong statement, it allows you to go down that path. And because we always find a way, because we both have, you'll figure it out. but you want to do what you want to do.
You want to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
That's really sums a lot of things
That's the
up,
truth, though.
right?
You have like two voices. You got the little devil,
There's no question.
you know, and then you got the one the angel.
Sometimes I have 3 or 4
Well,
going. I mean,
that's even worse.
I got committees going on, you know?
Well, yeah, we're always fighting something. I mean, at the end of the day, but I think as you get older, and you know this more than me, and as you learn and educate yourself and stay away from that little voice, the one that's the devil, as much as possible, you just make better decisions. And you've done so many quicksands, you know, stepped in quicksand so many times. You know, it comes a point where it's like, you know what, is it really worth it? You start actually, this is what I've learned. I ask myself more now than I ever have is, how do I define success?
Exactly.
That's the number one question everyone should really ask themselves, because in every situation, if you ask that before you make a major decision, you're really going to think it through. You know, the Susie Welsh 10-10-10 rule, right? You think about every decision, 10 days, 10 months, and 10 years. How does this decision affect my life?
Or does it matter?
You know, and that is so big because
I get it.
you really think things through, whereas guys like you and I, our ego comes in and, you know, we just we'll figure it out, and we think that, you know, we just compulsive.
Well, we the truth is we have great intuition and instinct. We really do. We get people. And more often than not, you know, we see the field long before other people see it. You know what I'm saying?
3-4 steps ahead.
Correct. And that's a gift, I believe. It's a connectivity to some sort of spiritual force in the universe. That's my belief.
Right.
And fear is the enemy of all these things.
Sure.
And, you know, you and I have managed to put our fear aside.
Many times.
Sometimes
when we shouldn't.
Sometimes it's a little unwise.
I agree.
But I still think that, you know, you're sitting here, and who you are and the life you've led, the family you have currently and you've had before, I think you're just a winner. You know, you got my vote as you're a winner, bro. And I think that it'll be borne out down the road. I have a little bit more life experience than you just because of my age.
Sure.
No other reason.
Right.
You're smart as a whip. And you're going to see that. And I'm telling you, when you get in there, you're going to just lay down on that steel rack, they call it bed,
Right.
bunk, and you're going to be like, nothing.
Yeah.
If I would have known this, I would have done X, Y, Z.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it.
Trust me. And one of the biggest things they talk about inside is, bro, you know, what does success mean to you? People always hypothecating in there. Prison philosophy is so pathetic. I'm just going to tell you.
Yeah.
I knew it then, and I tell you now.
Sure.
But you play along because you're there. You know, play along to get along.
Right.
And that's what, you know, your definition of success will change at various times in your life.
Of course.
For me, my definition is I want my adult children to want to hang out with me.
That's awesome.
So my lifestyle has to be such that it's attractive to them because I'm not stupid.
Sure.
If they don't deem you as cool or have a good lifestyle, they'll come, they'll pay attention, they'll give you the Sunday, they'll give you the birthday, they'll give you the holiday, and then you don't see them again.
Yeah, it's not conducive to them.
That's life.
Yeah.
But if you can organize your life in such a way that they think it's cool, or their significant other thinks it's cool, they're coming over, they're hanging out, you're going to dinner.
Sure.
My new thing with my daughter is she's and my ex, they were all betting, sports betting. They discovered the parlay.
Okay.
I was trying to explain to them how they're better off betting a little more.
Yeah, on a straight bet.
Straight betting and just winning one leg, because they win 2 legs, then it win the third. Oh, but they like the idea that they could bet $10 and win $75.
I get it. Yeah, that's
of course you get
that reels you in.
You guys like you design this. Exactly
100%.
Right.
I mean, listen, if you can, for a woman betting, they have to learn the hard way, but straight betting is really the only way to bet.
Reduce, at least give yourself a chance, right?
Yeah.
And but they were actually winning, but they don't tell me when they're not winning.
Of course.
So she's bragging me. You spoke to Stephanie. I don't know if you spoke to Stephanie.
I did. She's amazing,
beautiful, smart, amazing woman, and she's like, I won this parlay, and I have these group family texts, and I said, wow, 225. She goes, yeah, but I lost 225 in the college on Saturday.
At least she's being honest.
So I just got my money back.
Yeah.
But you understand what I mean? But if she didn't win, I wouldn't hear about that 225. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So you understand.
No, of course.
But let's talk about. Did you go to college?
No, I was So we got to where I'm, 16, I think, when we were talking. Basically from 16, about 17 years old, I got caught. My mom found a scale and kicked me out of the house. So
A scale of what? Weed?
for weed, yeah.
I got it.
I never sold anything else, just weed.
Okay.
But that was a moment for me of like realization. Okay, I got to start growing up a little bit. So at 18, when I graduated, I went and got an apartment with my now ex-wife, Monica.
Really?
Who I was.
You had the money for that?
No, it was like $800 a month.
Okay, you worked it
So
out.
yeah, we were dead broke, and that's why I didn't gamble anymore. Or if I did, it was peanuts, and I wasn't able to take bets because I had no money. So I went and got a real job. I was working 6 to 2 at the airport, and then 2:30 to 10 at Massimo Clothing Company. Warehouse job. I mean, minimum wage, both of them. Working 80 hours a week, going nowhere. On the weekends, if I had any additional money, I would gamble it away anyway. So we're living in this dump apartment in Huntington Beach, California. And guess what? She gets pregnant. So I can barely take care of myself, and now I'm 18 years old, and here comes a baby coming in the world. So I had to make a really important decision, which is how do I become a man as fast as possible and get my life in order, because I'm literally bringing a baby into the world. So we decided to move back into my mom's house, but she lost it. So the home we grew up in was, she couldn't afford it. So in that process, she moved to a mobile home park in Dana Point, California. And moving into a mobile home park for me was very demoralizing. I viewed it as white trash. I viewed it as a complete embarrassment, but I had to. I had no
Nothing
choice.
against you mobile home people.
No, nothing against it all. It's just
I understand.
my view.
For you, I get it 100%.
I mean, listen, if I have to live in a mobile home, I'll live in a freaking shack. I don't care. But
Correct.
just from where I came from and what I viewed, that's the way I looked at it. So, but I sucked it up, and we went to the mobile home park, and guess what? It was a 2-bedroom. My little brother was in one room, my mom was in the other. So now we're sleeping on a couch in a mobile home park.
And she's pregnant.
Yeah. And so I had to grow up fast.
Wow.
So basically what I did was I quit the 2 minimum wage jobs to go become a waiter, because a waiter for an 18-year-old kid is a lot more money.
Right.
And
Tips, all that.
Yeah, provide for a baby, and maybe it'll get me through until I figure something out. So I go to this restaurant. It's brand new in the affluent area in Dana Point. Even though we're in a mobile home park, it was a very nice city, a lot of money there. And I walk in this restaurant, and the GM interviews me. It's not even open yet, brand new. And he says to me, I can give you a job, but you have to start as a busboy. And I'm like, oh, God, chips and salsa.
Correct.
No tips, right? So I said, you know what? How long until I can work my way up? He's like, probably 3-4 months. Just got to learn, whatever. I said, okay. So I take the job, and I start making as much in tips as the waiters, because these guys were just not great waiters.
You're Matt Bowyer. I get it.
Using your charisma.
We do that.
Having conversation.
I get it.
The guy doesn't do something right, I'm making up for it, whatever. So after about 2 months, 3 months, the same customers are coming in, and a lot of them are asking to sit in my section.
I get it.
I don't have a section. I'm a busboy. So they realize real quickly. So I'm about to get promoted, and then I get this amazing opportunity. My first real taste of real success as a grown adult. And this gentleman named Mickey, him and his wife come in, and they say, hey, we really think you're amazing. We like your service. You want to have an interview at our company? And I said, absolutely. And they said, don't you want to know what it is? I said, I don't care. So I get in a car and go get a tie at Marshall's, because I didn't even have one.
Get it.
I drive down to this company, and I pull in, and there's Ferraris and Mercedes and every car an 18-year-old kid would dream of, or any kid for that matter, right?
Any grown up.
Yeah, right?
I get it.
And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I'm in Irvine, California, get in the elevator, come up to this beautiful floor, thing opens, it's artwork everywhere. I'm like, what the hell is this place? Takes me back, and as I go to this conference room for the interview, I see Wolf of Wall Street action, and I see
get it.
Hand signs, headsets, guys yelling, people walking through. It's the exact scene you would see in the movie Wolf of Wall Street.
Buying,
the energy
selling,
is
pitching,
insane.
closing.
And they're young, and they're successful, and they're just, you could see the look on their eyes, and the way their energy is just like, this is the life I want to live. I don't care what this is. I still didn't know what it was.
Doesn't matter, really. I get it.
It doesn't. So I get in this interview, and for about an hour, he belittles me. The same guy who I thought was a sweet man was a whole different animal. And I was like, holy shit. But in that belittling, I just took it, answered the questions.
Testing you.
Very much so.
I get it.
Why didn't you go to college? You just said you got your girlfriend pregnant. You're 18 years old. You don't have a job. I mean, you're serving chips and salsa. Just You have no education. I mean, belittling me every which way, right?
I love it.
So I walk out of this interview. I'm like, there's no way I got that damn job. So he calls me back like a week later, interview number 2. I come in there, same format, just belittling me. What is your plan? What have you done in the last week since I saw you? I'm like, holy shit, this guy is dissecting me like a frog.
Tough guy.
But I loved it. So after about 30 minutes, I just stood up to him. I said, listen, Mickey, I respect what you're saying. A lot of what you said is true. But I'm 18 years old. I haven't really had much of an opportunity. I couldn't go to college.
Right. I had enough of this already.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah, I said, if
What's the
you
deal?
want to hire somebody who has more hard work, grit, and determination, you're not going to find one. So you can go hire a Harvard Ivy League guy, and apparently you're telling me this is a sales job, which really doesn't apply here anyway. Or you can have somebody who's going to come in and outsell everybody here. He's like, well, you don't even know what it is. I said, I don't care. I was #1 Orange County Register. I know how to run a little business even at 16.
So tell me what happens.
He hires me.
What was it?
It was a commodity brokerage firm.
I love it.
But he hires me in the mailroom.
Okay.
So it's $1,200 a month, 60 hours a week.
Okay.
I'm like, hey, it's still a step up from what I was doing.
Better than busing.
100%. But what I didn't realize, Ross, is I was his personal assistant. So now I'm working for the owner of the company.
I get it.
28-year-old man who's making millions of dollars at 28. I'm 18. And this job and this career is right in front of
That
me.
was a blessing.
It was the best thing ever happened.
I understand.
Yeah.
Now you know what the real world. You got a taste of the real world.
And
the real world that you would want to.
Yes, the world I was
Correct.
envisioning.
Correct.
So I'm going to fast forward the story and just tell you that 6 months of being the best mailroom employee you could possibly be, and I was the first contact to every new lead. There was no internet, so it was a phone call, and the phone call would be a lead source. It was called the Ken Roberts course, a TWAMPM course, and the world's most powerful money manual. It was basically a course you could buy and learn how to trade commodities.
I get it.
So these guys would call in, or women would call in, and I would transfer them to the broker of the day. Well, the broker of the day, I would send it through. I was on a headset. I would hit mute, send the call through, and I was supposed to hang up. I didn't hang up. I just sponged. I learned sales training. Until the next call would come, I would just learn, and I loved it. And I was like, wow, okay. So I started educating myself. Then I started studying the Series 3 exam, one of the harder tests in the nation, not as hard as the Series 7, but it's pretty tough.
When I took it, it was a little easy. But
Okay.
I took it number 2 pencil, bro.
Well-
it took 2 weeks to get your answer.
When I took the Series 3,
No calculators.
which is 1993, it was a government exam with a camera on you.
I understand.
Computer. And for me, it was intense. I've never been to college. I cheated through high school.
Very difficult.
But especially when I just had no education.
I get it. I get it. You know how many guys
studied.
I hired and did all these things?
Yeah.
I did all these things.
You've been through it.
Thousands of people I put through this.
Yeah, so you know. So I studied it hard. And what he didn't know was I took the copy from one of the assistant brokers to study for the exam. Well, bottom line is I went to him with flashcards. About 6 months in the job, I said, Mickey, I'm ready to take the exam. Here's the flashcards. Ask me any questions you want. He's like, I can't give you. You can't take the exam. You're in the mailroom.
Right.
You got to be an assistant broker and learn the job. I said, listen, I'll make you a deal. If I don't pass, you can fire me or I'll quit. He's like, grabs the flashcards, asks me a few questions. He's like, oh, you are studying, huh? I said, I'll make you that deal.
You passed.
You want to risk your job? I said, no problem. So I didn't think he'd really fire me anyway, to be honest.
He wouldn't.
So I went past, got 72 and 83. You have to have 70 in both parts. I come back. It's one of the best days of my life. I hand him the exam from the government, and I said, I'm ready to go.
So let me ask you a question. Now you have the license. You're positioned. Were you doing business as a commodities? Were you broker, trader? What were you exactly doing?
So our job, it was a full-service brokerage firm.
I get it.
So we would recommend business. We would obviously facilitate trades. We would call them and tell them what to get into, or they would do their own. We were charging $95 a round turn, which is ridiculously high, and now it's like $1 or $2. I was the highest in the country,
Yeah,
by the way.
I understand that.
Okay, you know.
I never even heard anything like that.
Yeah, well, don't worry.
Right.
It didn't last long. And so what happened was, as soon as he replaced me, got me a job, or I trained a kid,
Right.
they moved me up to the top broker. And when I worked for the top broker, I worked there for about a year. We were #1 every single month. And the
production.
He was already #1 anyway, but I made him better.
I got it.
So at 20 years old, he comes to me, Mickey says, hey, listen, we've obviously gotten really tight because I was his personal assistant. And I just took the job so serious. He says, I have an opportunity for you. You've been here a year as an assistant. You've been here a year and a half. I'm opening a discount brokerage firm. We're losing a lot of business.
I get it.
It's called Newhall Discount. I want you to run it. I'm like, wow. So
That's pretty crazy.
at 20 years old, I took my license, opened a brokerage firm with him, and I didn't own it, obviously.
I understand.
And ran it. And within a year, at 21 years old, I was making $700,000 a year. I was the number one retail commodity trader in the world. I ended up having 12 assistants. I was doing, the numbers were outrageous in commissions. I was charging $55, but
You're making $700,000.
yeah. So I bought my parents' home that they lost
I love it.
and moved into my parents' bedroom.
How much was that home? Do you remember?
$540,000.
Okay.
Yeah, in California.
Oh,
But
you
this
moved
is-
into the master.
Yeah.
Did your mom come back?
No, she stayed. She met a man who she's married to this day.
I love it.
And truly, you know, it was amazing because when she
How
was
old were you when you did this?
21.
Okay, so here's a question I want to ask because I have a time limit. We have to get to some real
nuts and
current
bolts.
events. 'Cause I could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
We'd
by
probably
all
be here
this.
for 8 hours if we could.
I'm so fascinated by all this because I'm getting to know you, and I get you. I just have to tell you all these different things. We came, slightly different. You're much more. Well, we're a product of our original circumstances.
Right.
Your journey is still ongoing, just
Sure.
like mine is. So you're making real money. No sports betting at this time
That's when it started. Right around.
because everybody's gambling in that business.
So here's what happened. I'm 21 years old. I'm making $700,000 a year. I love action. I've been betting with bookies my whole life. Even when I was broke, I still did. I jammed myself up.
I understand.
At 21, I decided to become the house, like on a serious level.
Right.
At 16, 14, I was
No,
taking
I
bets.
get it 100%.
So 21, I see all these guys.
You
They're
made a
making-
decision. You had some capital.
I not only have it, I had these perfect clients in the world.
The best clients in the world.
They could pay. They're fucking doing hookers and cocaine. And,
I used to think the mobsters would loved me,
of course.
but I'm just saying I used to love them because you trusted me always. But $100,000 credit, I was gold to them.
Yeah.
And then once in a while they hit me up and I'm like, here's $10,000, here's $20,000.
Sure.
Could we get cash? I have to go to the bank, and who has $1 million laying around?
Right.
I did.
Yeah.
And I didn't even realize it because in the world I was in, everybody had that.
Yeah.
But to these guys, I was like,
you were a
you'd
cash
call
cow.
a whale. Yeah,
You were a
at that
cash cow.
time.
You were. And that's what I had. I had 50, 60 cash cows that I could make money off
And they're
of.
betting $1,000 a game,
5,000,
5,000 a game, a
10,000.
dime, 10,000
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, and I was willing to take that action because I had now I had the bankroll.
Did you lay it off?
No, I never laid off anything.
Really?
No, never. I was
I'm shocked by that. Now that I didn't know that.
well. When you read the rest
I
of
read
my
the
book,
I read it. I haven't finished it yet.
well, when you read the middle parts, you're going to see how many times I should have laid off stuff and how I got jammed up, and
right.
then I had to go to Costa Rica and had guns pulled and the whole
I
9
get
yards.
it. Did you know the brothers, Costa Rica?
Which ones?
I'll just give you one name. First name Joe. Two brothers. They ran the biggest online sportsbook football.
Was it sportsbook.com?
I don't remember.
Okay, I don't know
Details.
Joe, but I know a lot of bookmakers,
Right.
a lot of original bookmakers.
So you didn't lay it off. So just
No.
for the audience that doesn't follow gambling, you place a bet, and you win, and you get paid. But you place a bet and you lose, and you owe 10% over the
VIG.
and that's the VIG.
Correct.
So if someone places a bet for the Jets to win, he then calls up a bookie and bets the Jets to lose, and he makes 10% riskless.
Yeah, so the real reason bookmakers lay off
Right.
bets is because they just have too much action on one side. They don't want all that exposure.
right.
For me,
I know most bookies do take the action and keep the action because
Yeah.
that's their nature. I
of
hate to
course.
say it.
And at the end of the year, the customer's going to lose over time anyway. I mean, that's a fact. Like,
Okay, I
you
love it. I love it.
There's 1% of the world. It's a little higher now because of AI and
Correct.
robots and
And the
algorithms.
information you could get in all
That's
these different
correct.
things.
But it's really 1% that could beat sports or even beat gambling, period.
Same thing like the stock market. I hate to say it.
Yeah.
It's a
Most
loser's
people
game.
don't win at it. I mean,
And when they win, we just say it's just a loan.
yeah. Oh, that's exactly
That's
what I
how-
said.
that's how the guys-
100%. I have mentioned
Right.
that in my book.
But if you're not laying it off, then you can take some hits
Well, the layoff is to avoid running out of money.
to getting slaughtered, right?
Yeah, and
Potentially.
there's a story where I lose 5.7 million to a group of guys over a season when Tom Brady just absolutely destroyed every week.
Went crazy.
The spread and
Yeah, yeah,
cover
I get
and
it.
over. And that particular season is the first time in my life I tasted my ego and swallowed it and put my foot in my mouth and realized I just went bankrupt and had to take every asset out of my home and borrow money, and I was illiquid and I had to give up my business to where it's 50. I had 50% of it. I had to lay it off, the entire business to
I understand.
basically bookmakers in Costa Rica. But my point is,
Because you always had the clientele, so you were a good. People are going to help you because that you can always make it back because you had this clientele because of the guy you are.
I had the relationships.
Because of the guy you are.
Yes.
I see that.
Yes.
I would have done my business with you. I'm glad I didn't meet you earlier. I would have been gambling with you.
Well, the truth is, if you can trust somebody,
That's it.
That's all.
It's all about relationships.
Yes.
I get it. And you
Yes.
work. This shit doesn't. Listen, people don't understand. Shit happens in business and in life. And you know what? As long as two guys can communicate with each other openly,
right. That's right.
Not hide from each other and lie to each other and all these different things. You lay your cards on the table. Guess what? You work it out.
Yes, that's correct.
I have been privileged to be taken into the confidence of some very serious men lately since I'm out. It's just my nature, who I am. I can play at a certain level. And I guess real recognizes real. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
And this is big national news, what I'm saying. And, two guys had a big blow up over money, just millions and millions of dollars involved. And the guy that basically came to me, and because we're getting to know each other, we're doing some things, he's like, I fucked up because, it's just business, it's just money. Once you blow up a relationship,
Right.
You never want to destroy a relationship, burn that bridge.
You can't get that back.
Now you can't get it back.
Right. And your reputation starts,
Because
going
of
to waste.
ego.
Right.
But he's man enough to share with me names, and what I'm telling you is national public news in business.
Sure.
And, and I agree. I said, listen, shit's going to happen between guys. We're in
Right.
business, if you're real players. But over time, that relationship is gold.
Right.
You'll make more money on your relationships. They're so valuable. Now we closed the door. And that other guy that sort of felt burned now, that moved his shit elsewhere, costing, the guy that came to me, tens of millions now. And he's, I fucked up. But here's the thing. So Shohei Ohtani, you don't lay off action.
Nope.
The numbers say, 17 million? Is that a real number?
He lost. He took 17 from him. He lost 16.2 million to me. I took $326 million in wagers from him in about 18 months.
$326 million of weight. Well, now he's even bigger in my eyes.
Yeah.
He's a real man, but he's obviously a pretty bad gambler. That's a lot of money to lose.
Now we're talking about
play.
To be clear, though, I'm
Right.
talking about the interpreter.
I understand. That's the story,
Yeah.
and
that's something we'll talk about. But the reality is, I do know that the interpreter was my contact.
he was making the bets.
He
right?
was definitely making
He was
the
a
bets.
communicator.
100%.
You never spoke to Shohei Ohtani.
I've been around him, but he
Right,
doesn't speak
right.
English anyway. So
He must speak some English.
now he does. This is
Right.
go back to 2022, 21 when I met him.
Okay, so what was happening was you get contacted by some guy. Is that what happened?
No, so I went to I had some baseball players betting through my website.
Okay.
I had many celebrities and athletes that were betting.
Baseball players, huh? Because they're not supposed to gamble. The Pete Rose thing.
Well, Pete Rose was my client back in the day as well.
Oh, I didn't know that. I had the privilege to meet Pete
He's
Rose.
a great guy.
And I loved him.
Yeah.
And I spent a day with him.
Okay.
With my wife at the
Okay.
time, and we loved him.
Yeah.
And he was, at some point in the day, he's crying to me. He says, "I can't believe it." He was the greatest baseball player I ever saw.
Hardest working baseball
That's
player.
what I mean. Charlie Hustle, 4,000 hits. I mean, nobody like Pete Rose.
Right, right.
The big red machine. I am a sports guy too. I love sports.
Sure.
And this guy was
He was a beast.
He personified what an athlete should be.
I agree with you.
Not just doing it for the money, not
Right.
a fucking prima donna. This
No, he
guy's
was a hard working, just a grit,
Grit.
blue collar baseball player.
flying into the bases,
Yeah. Take
head
people
first,
out. I
not
love
worried about an injury, all these different things.
I agree.
And they stiffed him in the Hall of Fame, and he's going to end up getting in the Hall of Fame.
He will,
and all these amazing things are going to accolades, and he suffered. They really made him suffer.
I agree.
And everybody's gambling. I'm sorry to say it like that, but
Totally agree.
everybody's taking steroids.
The one thing you're right
Everybody.
about that. That's
The whole
facts.
thing. I know all about it.
They're all just hiding it, masking it.
They learned how to. The biggest sports doctor told me? He said, everybody can turn you into Superman, dope you up.
Right.
I could dope you up and you'll never fail a test.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. I don't have to hide from anybody. I'm just saying.
No,
But
for
if you're
someone
a
who
professional
does.
athlete, right?
Yeah. And I don't blame them. They should be allowed to do.
I get it. You
what-
can't compete if you
Yeah.
don't use. It's
No,
just
but the world has changed. I mean,
It's
the
hypocrites.
peptides
though.
are good for
They're
you. There's so many
They're
things. Yeah,
hypocrites,
yeah.
bro. They're hypocrites. We live in a hypocritical society.
Yeah.
All these congressmen, the guys that make the laws, they're all doing all these things.
Right.
Insider trading and cheating on their wife. They're just human beings.
Right.
but they have to lie about it. And now with connectivity and media, everybody's got a cell phone with a camera. Shit's coming out.
Of course it is.
But so you're at this event. Go ahead. You are taking bets from Major League Baseball players.
I have some guys, and they're not betting on baseball, to be clear, but they're betting.
They're not allowed, though, to gamble on anything.
They're allowed to gamble on other sports.
I didn't know that.
But it has to be through a legal entity.
I get that.
Keyword.
Yeah, they can't be doing criminal activity.
Correct. Or betting through criminal activity, right? So, but anyway, we have relationships, and I play golf with these guys. We gamble on the golf course. And they, one of them is a good buddy of mine. He says, hey, let's, come to the game. I'm playing tonight. And I'm like, all right. So we go to the Padres-Angels game in San Diego. After the game's over, I go hang out with the team. Not the entire team, but they all go back to the hotel, and they have a private poker game, which I was invited to. First base coach, third base coach, a couple players, about 8 or 9 regular Joes like me.
Just guys playing cards.
Sticking around. $2,000, $3,000 buy-in. And Ippei Mizuhara, the translator for Shohei Ohtani, is present. And he happens to be betting on his phone. I don't know if it's a legal entity or illegal. I don't care.
He's just betting.
But my friend, who would recruit business for me, says to Ippei, hey, Matt does that. And that's when the whole relationship started. So we started him off with the $1,000 per game and an $8,000 credit line, which is nothing.
Right, but that's like a starting.
Yeah, that's a.
You knew he was a real guy. I mean, he had a job.
Of course, and he's Shohei's interpreter. I mean,
right.
I'm not too worried about getting paid, and that was what he requested. And then, of course, he blew it out in about 2 minutes. I mean, I'm being sarcastic, but very quickly.
Right.
And then he asked for a raise, so we raised the credit line to $40,000. He blew that out.
What is he gambling on, if you don't mind me asking?
Soccer, mostly. 80% soccer.
And European soccer, a lot of it's fixed, by the way.
Well, never mind European.
Right.
He's betting soccer matches that you and I have never heard of in our life.
Right. But I want you to know that I was in prison with guys that
they're rigging that stuff. Yeah.
It's all rigged.
Yeah.
I have friends that made millions that I met in prison that were my cellmates that explained it all to me.
Sure.
It's pretty organized.
I don't doubt it.
I was
just
shocked.
Just like a lot of tennis is, too.
Interesting.
That I do know.
Okay.
Because I've seen that firsthand.
I get it. Real money involved.
Yeah. These guys, here's the problem. When an athlete doesn't make a lot of money, I'm talking lower level athletes.
He's tempted.
They're more tempted to do things like that.
Right. They're struggling.
Yes.
And you know what? Someone says, listen, you can make fucking $100,000. Boom, boom, boom.
Well, that's why these college athletes just got in trouble like a week ago. 13 new players, college athletes in basketball, were rigging games.
I heard that, but I haven't read the story yet.
Yeah. They haven't come out with the specifics, but it's
that's
very
why
obvious.
this NIL, the NCAA finally had to wake up because
Right.
the whole thing, everybody's getting greased in one way or another, and
Sure.
just make it legal, tax it, whatever,
Right.
Manage it. I mean, there's so much hypocrisy, bro.
Yeah.
At the big level. So tell me, so this guy's making bets.
So he's up to 40,000. Then he goes to 300,000, and then I can't raise him anymore until he pays. So then he pays right away.
He's running a tab like always.
Yeah, credit line.
I get it.
He pays the 300,000, which by the way is more than an interpreter makes. But I don't ask any questions because it started off small and he paid.
He's paying.
Then he asked for 500,000, so I give it to him. He blows the 500,000. He wires me the 500,000. I reload him again. He loses 500,000.
Did you ever look at the wire?
Well, we're going to get to that. So the third wire, he sends 500,000. Now that's 1.3 million.
Right.
Now let me remind you that I've been debanked at every bank in the country. I don't have a bank account at Chase, B of A, da. So I have to redirect these wires. So I don't see who they're coming from. The third wire, I get a call from my friend who received the wire from me and says, hey, man, are you sitting down? And I said, yeah, why? What's up? He goes, I just got the wire. I said, oh, great. He says, guess what? It's from Shohei Ohtani. I said, oh, okay.
Pretty cool.
That's amazing. But maybe it's not. There's like that.
Now you want to increase his credit limit. That's what I would think.
I mean, my first instinct was greed, and of course, and I have unlimited source of money. But my second instinct is, holy shit, is this going to put eyes on me? This is the best baseball player on the planet.
At that time, he was already the best.
I mean, he was
on his way up.
Yeah,
he was being touted.
He was already performing.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god! But of course, you see the dollar signs first. And by the way, I go look at it. His count, he's already down $1 million because now we moved his credit line up to $1 million. So I'm like, holy shit! This is an endless supply of money. So then Ippei asked me for another bump in credit. So I move him up. He blows another $1 million. So he has $2 million, and he sends me a wire for 500,000. Of course, I don't ask because at this point, I've already vetted the customer. He's already proof of payment.
I get it.
Anonymity is a part of my business.
Right, I get it.
And so people ask me, how do you give an interpreter $40 million in credit? Well, I didn't. I gave an interpreter $8,000 in credit, and he started paying me. So I just increased it because he was paying me.
I hate to say it, and you see where the wire's coming from.
Obviously, yeah. And
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, whether it's Shohei, his dog,
Who cares?
his grandpa, I don't care.
It's the same thing, right?
And by the way, none of the bets were on baseball. That I do know. And
That's important.
That was important, truly, because I didn't want to be part of any fixing.
I get that.
Because that would cause a lot of problems, not only for me, but for the world, for baseball. I do care about sports. I care about,
everybody
integrity.
that I've told you a story to, they laugh and they say, of course it was Ohtani. They're all covering for him, and the interpreter's going to take the hit. And
that's what 95% of the world thinks.
Yeah, and
I get that.
And I personally believe it as well. I
Yeah.
can't imagine, you're looking at your accounts, you don't know 17 million
Right.
goes out. But, because I was a stockbroker and owned stock brokerage firms and banks, I also get human nature. This guy is not focusing on the money.
Right.
When you're that great a ball player, that great an athlete, he's got a million things going on.
Sure.
His shoulders, his elbows, his knees, his
Right.
arms. He doesn't feel good. He's still got to get out there. Then he pitching and batting. I mean, I can't imagine what this guy deals with. And if you trust somebody so much, and he's your interpreter and all these different things, he integrates. He becomes part of your life, like you did as a busboy,
Of course.
in a mailroom,
Right.
As an assistant. All of a sudden relying on you. And I hate to say it, 17 million to Shohei Ohtani is bupkis.
It really is.
It's pennies.
Yes.
It's like pathetic almost. But, it's a great story. Was it Ohtani's money
course.
or not? It seems like you got a pretty sweet deal, but who knows? I mean, that's the great thing, about it. You only know that you're dealing with the interpreter.
Right.
No bets on baseball, and the guy pays.
That's correct. And
So how'd you get caught? What happened?
Well, I got caught because I wasn't busted because of Shohei Ohtani at all.
Okay.
The FBI and my raid of 29 agents coming down my driveway was due to the casino industry and the KYC rule that's being enforced.
Know your customer. It's Rule 405A at the SEC, just so you guys all know.
You even know it by heart.
Know your customer.
So that rule was not being followed by most of the casinos in the world, really, and some in particular in Las Vegas, A being Resorts World, which is the casino that I was going to, which as a gambler flying to Las Vegas or all around the country.
And you're gambling all over the world. You're
Every 2 weeks, I'm on a plane with $2 million or $1 million to go.
Cash?
Mostly cash,
Okay.
yeah. Or
because you had banking issues.
or wires.
Okay.
And the wires were coming from Shohei Ohtani's account to a friend of mine's account who was wiring the money to the casino, which I would pull out of the casino. So
it.
obviously that is a form of movement and money laundering.
money becomes a problem at your level because
especially that high of a dollar amount.
that's what I mean.
Yes.
If you're dealing with thousands, nobody cares.
Yeah, 8,000-10,000, no big deal.
Who cares? Millions, you're talking about, oh boy.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you.
So that's exactly what happened.
Recalibrate. If you want more detail, you got to read this book. It's a phenomenal book. This is a phenomenal guy. It's a crazy story. And we could talk all day. I have to be honest with you. I want to know more about how you got to this point, but we don't have the time. And your website is what?
Mathew Bowyer with one T, done Bowyer.
Bowyer.
Correct.
Matthew with only one T. That's unusual.
Yeah, well, I'm like you. I'm unusual.
You're a different.
My
you know what I
parents knew
say
it.
when I meet people? I say I'm a different kind of cat.
Yeah, there's no question.
And
you and I both are.
And I go on a date or two, yeah. And then they'll look at me and say, you're right about that.
Yeah, but who wants to be normal? I'm not a sheep. You're not a sheep.
Normal is, on a washing machine.
Yeah, exactly.
Normal, rinse, normal,
right.
extra dry. I'm extra whatever.
Yeah, or
Just
extra
like you.
everything.
Extra everything. So now, go ahead. So you're involved with casinos on top of all the bookmaking, right?
Yeah, so I'm not joking. We were flying every 2 weeks to a casino
With millions of dollars.
on a private plane with my son, who's at 2 years old. He's been on 44 private jets already.
So with the wife.
With the
you
wife,
married how many
Nanny.
times?
I've been married twice, and my
And
wife
how
I've
many-
been we married in. It's been 7 years.
I love that.
2018.
She's a beautiful woman, by the way.
Thank you. She's
Beautiful.
amazing.
I checked her out.
Yeah, she's. You should.
Of course I did. And you have how many children?
I have 5.
5
4
children.
girls and a little boy.
Men like us make girls. That's the truth. Boy. I have
There's
2
a reason.
daughters. Exactly right.
There's a reason.
Our daughters are going to be so tough. They're going to.
They already are. I got a 30-year-old daughter, 20 who just got married, 26-year-old, 22,
They dominate
14.
their men.
Oh, it's yeah.
I have 2 daughters that just These poor guys.
They have no chance.
With no chance. You know, we were staging weddings in my garage when they were 2-3 years old. They were walking.
That's great.
We're running around in circles and hyperventilating and playing war and fighting.
Well, they've watched you overcome adversity and be strong.
That's another. They're so tough.
You know.
So now you're involved in casino gambling.
Yep.
And millions of dollars. And I guess the casinos are supposed to know the customer. I guess report things to the government. Is that a large amount of cash? All these different things.
Moral of the story is this: they can't allow a person to come in, or they shouldn't be allowing a person to come in and blow. I lost $13 million between me and my entourage. If you make $1 million a year, how do you lose $13 million? You know, they have to
maybe average parents. You know, you inherited money. You're
true,
all these different
but
things.
they're supposed to ask those questions.
I get it.
You know, so
I understand.
You could just be retired and have
correct
$500 million
money in the stock market. Who knows?
You have to prove that. And in my case,
well, they're supposed to ask.
And asking is actually, you're right, but
there's a bar, the low bar. These are rules that are really not enforced in casino. Today, if a stock brokerage business, you got to know your customer first thing. We're 405A SEC. I already knew that. You know,
right?
I can't ever forget it.
Sure,
but I guess you should really consider that in life.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Know your customer, whether it's a date, you're dating a girl or a wife, or you know, your kid's got a friend.
It applies to everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should know a little bit about your world, and I guess it's actually a federal law.
It is.
They just choose not to enforce it until they decide to enforce it.
Well, the government's enforcing it.
They are now
drastically with the casinos.
They want to know where all the money is.
Every dollar. And I'll tell you this: the casinos are fighting back. The case is still ongoing. I advanced my sentencing because I just didn't want to sit around for 2 or 3 more years.
So you pled guilty to bookmaking and some other things, correct?
Money laundering, falsified tax return. It's 18 years total max.
How many counts?
3 counts.
So you pled guilty to 3 counts.
Yep.
So you're convicted of 3 counts.
Correct.
I'm convicted of 4.
Okay.
The guy sitting in the White House right now, convicted of 32 counts.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Facing another 60. We're like kids to him. We'd be congressmen, maybe.
Right? That's true. It's so true. I mean, he's overcome a lot of adversity.
I mean, but still, there are ongoing cases, just so you know.
Ear, I mean,
the only reason why he has been sentenced is they stayed the sentencing. That's big of these judges.
Wow.
Because he's president now.
Yeah.
And hopefully he takes them all down.
That's wild.
It's 9:50, and I just want to say you're an amazing dude. I mean, I could talk to you all day.
I know we could.
You're so calm in the way you deliver information, and some of it is like earth-shattering stuff, and you're just calm.
I'm
I
like
guarantee
you. We're cucumbers.
If I hooked you up to like a BP machine or something, you'd probably become calmer.
I'll be honest with you. You and I can tell by talking to you, we're ducks. We just cruise around, but our feet are paddling pretty fast. But we're ducks.
Well, we can move.
But the bottom line is I've been a duck my whole life, so I'm used to paddling fast, and I'm okay with that. And I'll keep paddling.
Yes, you will.
You know, it's just
big things are coming with you for you, Matt. I'm expecting and predicting big things, and I'd love to be a part of it. You're going on this like whirlwind tour, right? Because you have a plan.
My plan is just building. I'm building, literally a team. I'm going to call it a team. The world is my team, and the more people I have behind me and the more support I have and the more I could tell my story and motivate people and help them learn from my mistakes and my poor choices and really just overcome adversity.
It's my plan.
That's your plan too?
Yeah, it's been my plan. Build a following, control eyeballs.
Yeah.
I'll control close to 18 million organic eyeballs right now.
That's amazing.
Through
all the social media outlets.
I'll show you, later. I wish we had more time. So what do you want to tell the audience? What do you want people to know about Mathew Bowyer?
I think the biggest thing for me is, I'm a father of 5, right? First and foremost, the most important thing that I want to leave as a legacy is being a great father and a good person and giving back to the world. I've made a lot of poor choices, but these poor choices have led me to being a better human being. And at the end of the day, if I could get somebody to learn that their mindset is the most powerful thing to develop, because there's a lot of people that don't have the strength that we have. And there's a lot of people that look at us and think we're crazy idiots because we went to prison or I'm about to go to prison, whatever. But we took risk. We took chance. Young people should always take risk, even older.
Thank you. I get it.
But the younger ones especially. Everyone should take chance and take risk in life.
The younger, the better.
100%. I mean, that's the time. Right?
And listen, if things don't work out,
you'll be
suck
fine.
it up, move forward.
Yeah,
You're
learn
going to
from
be
it.
okay.
Yeah, you learn from it.
That's it.
But my main thing is I've followed the path of always believing in myself and having self-confidence and continuing to understand that whatever comes my way, I'll overcome it. And I hope that whoever watches this will have the same strength or pull some of that from this, because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect, and we're all going to have fuck-ups and errors and make poor choices. So just put yourself out there and go for it.
So you made your deal with the government.
Yep.
You made the deal. It's done.
Yep. I pled guilty. I got sentenced to 1 year and a day. I turned in 23 days. Hope to be out in 5-6 months, like you said.
You will be.
Whatever the time period, whether it's 1 year, that doesn't change
You
any
have no
outlook
idea.
for me.
You're going to look at it, honestly, as a vacation.
Yeah.
You've been through hell. That's the thing I want to just explain to you.
Sure.
You've been through hell. And, you'll be nervous your first day. You have to get
acclimated.
You get acclimated to this crazy new little world.
Right.
And you're going to look around and say, this is so pathetic. What was I worried about?
Right.
I should have done more. Shohei Ohtani, you have any words to say to him?
If I saw him, I'd like to apologize to him. I try to take accountability for everything I do, and the reason I would apologize is, even though I didn't choose for his interpreter to steal, I didn't, want him to have a tarnish to his name, and I believe that my actions, even though I still don't agree with all the laws and whatever,
Correct.
I set up a legal business, and it affected his career in some sort. He's overcome all the adversity. He's amazing, but I hate to have that he has this small tarnish.
But this is this is the one last nagging question I have about the whole thing. Gambling's legal now. Sports betting is legal.
Right.
Why wouldn't this guy just do it legally? What's the big deal?
California, it's not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and we live in California. It's one of the states that's not. There's 11 states left. It will be legal.
So he couldn't just place his bets through some operator in Vegas?
Nope.
Because he lives in California.
Correct.
And the translator lives in California.
Yeah, the minute you cross state lines, it won't let you log into the DraftKings or FanDuel or Venetian.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why California bookmakers, like myself when I was one, had such a big business in California.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
I did not understand why.
You could not gamble in California on sports spreads.
You can't even bet in Vegas if you're in California.
Nope.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why my friends moved to Costa Rica and moved offshore.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it will be legal within 2 years. I assure you that.
Because they're all gambling. Everybody's gambling.
Of course
it's the craziest thing in the world.
Especially now.
And insider trading in the stock market.
Yeah.
Worse than gambling, because it's not gambling when you know a law's coming out. It's going to benefit a pharmaceutical company and you're buying stock in Merck or Glaxo or Novo Nordisk, et cetera.
Right.
Or new technology. You're buying stock in NVIDIA.
Sure.
I could go on and on and on because I own a firm and I get on the phone. The senator's on the phone. He's selling this. He's buying this. And, 20 guys would be on there with pitching the phone buying stock.
Of course.
I never lost money once on the senators. And then when the senator was interviewed by the FBI, he says, I never invested. I never bought stock. I never had an account with Mandel. I didn't make any money from Sky Capital. 250,000 shares of Sky Capital stock. I have the confirmations. Larry, only because he badmouthed me in the media.
Sure.
That's why I say it. Mathew Bowyer, he is an extraordinary young man. Listen to him, follow his story. Check him out on social media under your spelling, Bowyer.
Yes, sir.
Mathew with 1 T.
Mathew Bowyer 5.
Orange County, California.
Yes, sir.
Happily married, father of
5.
5. What? This is a guy, jiu-jitsu, red belt, orange belt.
No, I'm blue belt.
A blue belt.
Yeah.
Beast. He's a beast, ladies and gentlemen. I love this man. We got to call Uber. Thank you for your day, bro.
Thank you, my man. Great to meet you. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
My privilege.
Yeah. Great show.